Tonight we've got a great guest. I've seen him live in front of thousands of people doing his thing. Not real estate coach, but real estate trainer. And I'm going to ask him what the difference is in a second. Mr. Chris Leader is here with us. Chris, it's great to have you on the show.
Thank you very much for having me, Rav.
No, it's great. I know you have a hectic schedule and all over North America. Do you ever do anything outside of North America? Have you been to England or Australia or doing any?
Always North America.
And I guess, I mean, real estate kind of training is different, obviously, if it's going to be abroad. In North America, it's pretty much the same, although there's a few differences between Canada and the States, but...
Very few, actually. And in saying that, in terms of abroad, there's Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, United States and Canada run basically the same real estate system. So I could train outside of North America, but quite honestly, there's just so much work inside the North American market that it just doesn't take me off the continent.
Yeah, and it's interesting. You live not far from York Region, a little bit north. You're living in Barrie.
Yeah, Barrie's home.
Yeah,
family's in Barrie. Yeah,
which is a beautiful, beautiful city. Town or city?
City now.
City, yeah. Beautiful city and. Good opportunities for real estate, too, in Barrie. I mean, I think a lot, there was, I'm not quite sure if there still is, but...
Barrie market's very healthy, very healthy right now, and I think most of Southern Ontario is very healthy. There are certain pockets where the employment situation has affected the market, and i.e. maybe Windsor or Oshawa, being auto-related, that sort of thing, but generally speaking, with low interest rates, we're starting to see a real seller's situation again where there's pent-up demand. There's not enough inventory on the market in a lot of Southern Ontario, so it's a good time right now.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I mean, the last few weeks, even with the stats that have come out, it's whether it's the sun shining, it's getting a little warmer, whether rates are starting to increase and buyers are making decisions, but it's busy out there.
I think that we've had so much doom and gloom in the news for about the last 12 months that November and December, January and February looked like it was going to be an absolute write-off, and it looked like 2009 was going to be a terrible year in Southern Ontario.
Yeah.
But I think that the interest rates have made such a big difference, and I think people are finally getting comfortable with the idea that there is going to be maybe a little larger than normal unemployment situation, but generally speaking, you know, and I'm not even certain exactly what the unemployment rate is in Southern Ontario, but let's say hypothetically it was 9%. Well, that still means 91% of the population is employed, and really you have to take a look at the interest rate situation that's really fired up the housing market. The interest rates are at an all-time low. It's probably, at least in my lifetime, it's been the best interest rates we've seen. When I first started in real estate was back in 1981, and we had 21% interest rates. And if you had ever told me back then that we'd be looking at rates of 3.5% or 4%, in some cases even lower, I would never have believed you. Even my grandfather never got interest rates like this. So, you know, anybody that's really looking at or entertaining the idea of buying real estate, they need to be doing it now. We're having a sale in terms of the mortgage market, and it's not unthinkable for rates to jump up a point or two overnight. And, you know, we could go to bed next week or 2 weeks from now, and you could wake up the next morning and rates could be at 6% without a blink of an eye.
I think that's very important. I mean, if you can get a rate, you know, for 3.5%, and all of a sudden they're 6.5%.
Yeah.
I mean, 3% on a $300,000 mortgage, that's $9,000 over 5 years.
Yeah, in fact, a little bit more than that, actually.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it makes a significant difference. Actually, it's about $9,000 a year, about 20, probably as much as maybe $40,000 over the life of that 5-year mortgage.
Yeah.
So when you look at it from that perspective, anybody that's sitting on the fence, I'd strongly recommend to them that they get into the market right now. So it's a very good time, and I think we'll start to see house prices rising again, if we haven't seen it already.
Sure. Now, you did you start as, I mean, we're going to get to the real estate trainer. There's on this show, there's mortgage specialists and, you know, investors and home inspectors. And so there's a lot of realtors that watch all over York Region. And this is a little different to have someone like yourself on. I've seen you live and was very inspired. And I thought, hey, let me see if Chris is available, first of all. And so once again, thanks for coming. The difference between a real estate trainer and a coach, there's a lot of people out there that talk about coaching and, so on and so forth. They give them a call once a week and, help you through some things. What would you say is the fundamental difference?
A real estate trainer actually teaches people things they don't know, and a real estate coach gets them to do the things they know they should be doing, but they're not.
Very good point. Very good.
So you're almost talking about therapy for real estate agents when you talk about a coach. And from a training perspective, and I'm not qualified to be a coach. I've done training now for the last 12 years, and it's a completely different mindset. I don't have a psych background, nor have I ever been to Coach University in the States, so I'm not qualified to figure out why people don't do the things they know they should be doing.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I am very qualified to be able to teach people things they don't know in terms of the world of real estate and in mortgage as well. I do both real estate training and mortgage broker training.
You do mortgage broker? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well.
yeah. I carry licenses in both industries, and I have probably upwards to 20 years. I've had a real estate broker